Hey guys, this is part 2 for classification this week.
A marvelous Monday.
Another marvelous Monday. All right. So I wanted to talk to y'all about. We talked in the first part about classification of non-living things. Abiotic. Remember, means without, and biotic means life. So abiotic things would be things with no life. All right, that would be our writing utensils. But now, the 6 kingdoms of living things are going to be what we talk about now. And this is where we're going to learn how to break down all the different animals of the animal kingdom into more specific names, okay? So we have this. Let me kind of get it a little bit closer for you, all right? Now, we already know that domains is eukaryote because eukarya nucleus, prono-eudo, and so we're going to start at the very top of domain. Then we have kingdoms, right? Well, we know that the kingdoms is animalia, any animal, and then you're going to break it down to phylum. Phylum is chordata, meaning that it has a backbone or a spine. All right, then you go down class, order, family, genus, and species. And we've written a good way to remember this. I'm going to put this down here for you real quick. Is Dear King Paul came over for good soup. Or you can say Dear King PETA from Hunger Games came over for good spaghetti or good supper because Miss Johnson's a great cook. And Miss Johnson, what are you cooking for supper tonight?
Maybe stuffed bell peppers.
Stuffed bell peppers.
Uh-oh.
Sounds delicious.
You didn't sound happy about that.
All right. Okay, so that's going to be our domain, kingdom, phylum. Let me get this a little bit closer for you.
I wanted to show them the other way they write this.
All right. There you go.
Do you want to show them why they do it like a triangle?
You can.
Okay. Okay. So if you'll notice that it starts off at the biggest, most broadest category, which is domain. So we said there's 2 domains. There's eubacteria and
Archaebacteria.
yeah, there's really 3. Eubacteria, archaebacteria,
And eukaryote.
And eukaryote. So it's like saying in the kitchen, you have cabinets, drawers, and countertops, okay? But then you get more specific, okay? So it's a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller.
It starts knocking things out that it can't be.
To where you get to where it can only be one thing. Like it's kind of like if you're playing hide and go seek or a scavenger hunt. You get narrow and narrow and narrow until you're hot and you've got the exact specific thing. Species specific. So she's going to show you a specific species. We're going to start off, before we show you the picture, we're going to tell you what domain it's found in, okay?
Okay, so the first thing I want to start out with is my favorite animal. A giraffe. They're so cool, right? Okay, so what did we say was going to be the domain? It has a nucleus, so it has to be
Eukaryote.
Eukaryote. Good job. All right, and then of course down, king would be kingdom, and it's an animal, so it'd be animalia, right? Well, think about all the millions of different animal species, right? And then you're going to go to Dear King Paul, right? So then you have phylum, which is chordata, meaning it has a backbone. That's how you're going to remember. And pretty much when you're doing most mammals, you're going to have spines, right? And then you have came, which stands for class, which is mammals, right? Warm-blooded creatures. Then you have order, okay? Well, here it tells us the order is Artiodactyla. And then the family is Giraffidae. And the genus is Giraffa camelopardalis. How do you like that for pronunciation? All right. And so this comes from, if you've noticed in my classroom, these are called field guides. And every single book in my classroom breaks it down for your mammals. And we're going to learn more about these next week when we learn about ecosystems. But it tells us where they live. It tells them their habits, how they hunt and what they eat. how they breed. And it says, did you know that the giraffe's long neck has the same number of vertebrae, 7, as most other mammals have, but the giraffes are greatly elongated. Anyway, so it gives you that information. And then here are some key facts, and it also gives you the map of where you can find these type of giraffes. All right, and it talks about their size and their lifestyle and their related species, because there are 9 subspecies of different giraffes. So you would use their physical characteristics to classify them all the way down, just like you would, like we did for the dictionary or your dresser drawers or your kitchen cabinets or even your writing utensils.
Now, some of you may be saying, why is this even important? Who cares? I know that's a giraffe. Why do I need to know these things? Well, in areas like ours where we have woods that have all kinds of animals and things like snakes, it's really important because like at HEB when you check out, there's actually a field guide for snakes. If somebody were to get bitten or if somebody were hiking through the woods, you would need to know what kind of snakes you're coming
Poisonous
across.
versus non-poisonous.
Right. Birds. We have a lot of bird hunters. We have beautiful birds in Southeast Texas. They have field guides when you check out at HEB for birds as well.
And you need to know, especially if you're a hunter, which a lot of you guys and girls are, you need to know which ones are available for shooting and which ones aren't.
Correct. So field guides are not just used for zoologists. They're not just used for a visit at the zoo. They're not just used for science. They're used for all different kinds of things. Oh, another interesting fact. This field guide is universal. The names that they use in here are scientific names. You could go to China and the genus species of a giraffe would be pronounced exactly the same in China as it is here in the U.S. So that's that whole scientist where we all have a universal language. That's the universal language, okay? I do want to tell you on the genus species, it's 2 words. The first one is capitalized and the second one is lowercase. And this is called binomial nomenclature. Ms. Hopson, do you remember what the word binomial nomenclature means?
Just like a bicycle means 2. So,
okay. Oh, she's using her prefix suffixes again.
And nomial is just a way to say name, right? A scientific word for name, right?
So it's a 2 naming system. I love it. Okay.
So this Giraffa camelopardalis, or however you say that word, it's 2, genus and species, binomial nomenclature.
So the first part of the word is going to tell us something about the genus. The second part of the word tells us something about the organism, where it was discovered, who discovered it, what color it is, how large it is. I bet part of that word means something about how large it is, maybe even a way in which it behaves.
Yeah.
This is all going to be in your slideshow, by the way.
Yes. And this is going to lead you into dichotomous keys. And so you'll use dichotomous keys to figure out, work its way all the way to its specific name.
And at the end of your slideshow, it's going to get more specific as you go. But we really want you to pay attention to the very end of your slideshow that kind of narrows down what the whole classification system looks like, okay? So, Ms. Hopson, tell them what the last part of our classification system looks like.
Well, the most important thing is, so we know that the domain is the most broadest, right? You have bacteria, archaea, which is it's like a bacteria that only lives in the most extreme places, like hot geysers or very acidic places. And then, of course, eukarya, right? Eukarya nucleus, all right? And then when you think about eukarya, okay, so you had your domain, and then you're going to go underneath it, the next dear king, right here, kingdom, all right? Well, there are 4 kingdoms. We just talked about animals, right?
Actually, there's 5.
Plants, animals.
Let's do our hand.
Oh,
Our hand.
You know what? I have
we've
a
got
picture of
something. Hold on just a second. This is so cool. It tells you how to remember this.
I forget.
It's okay. This is my favorite. And she does such a good job drawing. You're going to love it.
And you're going to like my little ways to remember this. Okay, so first of all, we know animals, right? And plants, because we said plant and animal cells, all right? But how many of you probably have been eating a lot of sandwiches lately since you're at home, and your parents are not going to be cooking for you for lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner all the time. So when you go to fix your bread, if you don't eat it fast enough, you find that green yucky stuff growing on it. What is that called?
Fungus.
Fungi, right? And then protease. Protease are like, they
The
kind
junk drawer.
the junk drawer.
The
That's a
junk
great way
drawer.
of looking
I
at
like
it.
to use my pinky finger to remember it.
Yes.
Protease or the junk drawer.
They're just-
Anything that doesn't fit into these fits into the junk drawer. I mean,
Right.
think about it at home. Your junk drawer has pins and safety pins and tape and maybe a marker, and what else is in your junk drawer?
I found a little paint sample the other day.
I mean, random.
And some hand sanitizer that's just a squirt spray.
But you wouldn't have a drawer for paint samples, would you?
No.
And you wouldn't have a hand sanitizer drawer?
no.
Nobody right now got that much hand sanitizer.
No way. You know, it used to be, you know, my daughter collected all those little small hand sanitizers.
But now y'all are
And,
using them.
Well, it's funny because she said, y'all used to make fun of me, and now look who's got the hand
Yep.
sanitizer. Anyway, all right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the thumb. How many of you have heard of the saying, green thumb?
I don't have a green thumb.
Me neither. Okay, but that's when you can grow plants well. So that's going to be your first thing, green thumb, and it's your plant kingdom.
That's right.
All right.
It's called
But-
plantae.
Yes. And then, all right, so let's put up our number one. Number one is going to be bacteria. They're single-celled organisms,
So
right?
one, uno, single.
Who's number one?
Single-celled
Right?
organisms.
All right. Now, okay, I'm going to put my hand up like this because we don't want to stick up our middle finger.
We're not going to be sixth graders. We're going to be mature.
No, we're going to be appropriate. All right. But using our physical properties that we've been doing to classify, what can we say about our middle finger that would be appropriate?
It's big and tall.
It is the largest finger that we have on our hand, right? So that will be our representation of the animal kingdom
'Cause it
because
is the
it's the
largest.
largest kingdom, right? All right. Now, this ring finger right here. Okay. Now, this is what's so funny, right?
I have a ring on it.
Okay. If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. Oh. All right. So, what they normally say about guys, this is funny, that they're only fun when they're not married. Okay? So you don't have a ring on it.
When you put a ring on it, they're no
Yeah.
fun anymore.
So, a fun guy,
That's just a joke, though.
yes, because guys are really fun when they're married. They are A-OK in our book.
Yes.
All right. So, fun guy. We're going to pretend that this is the ring finger, missing the ring. He's a fun guy, right? And then, like Miss Johnson said, pinky protease, all right?
Pinky.
And so what we did, so it doesn't fall in the plant domain, and it doesn't, or kingdom, and it doesn't fall in the animalia, and it doesn't fall in the fungus. So it just kind of is like the leftovers, the junk drawer, like Miss Johnson said. So here you go. All right, you got your green thumb for plants, your unicellular
Single-celled.
bacteria and archaea. You got your animals, fungi, and Pinky the proteist.
And you're going to see all of this on your PowerPoint. We just tried to make it a little bit more fun for you, but we want you to go through the entire PowerPoint.
Yes. Well, you have to fill in the blanks on your Google form so that you can get credit.
While we're on here, why don't you explain to them how they fill in the Google Forms?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like, some of them will just return the slideshow into
Oh,
me.
yeah. Don't just hit that turn in button. No. All right. Now, I understand we only have 2 weeks left of school, this week and next week. But you have to make sure that when you click on that Google form, please use all lowercase letters because for some reason, when you put a capital letter in there, it wants to mark it wrong. And I think that's so silly. But just in case, I want you to make sure you put in all lowercase letters and hit that submit button. Okay? That's very important.
Thank you, Ms.
All right,
Hopson.
you're
That'll clear
welcome.
mine up.
Yeah.
We are missing y'all so much.
Yeah.
I hope these videos help. If you need us, we are a remind away. That's all you have to do to get a hold of us.
A lot of you already probably have our phone numbers to text us.
And
as
that's
long as
fine,
you-
too.
Yeah, as long as you're asking appropriate questions.
And as long as your parents say it's okay.
Yes.
Always ask a parent before you
Always.
contact us.
And you can always put a question in the stream of our Google Classroom or add a private comment if you have any questions.
And we're trying to get back to you ASAP. If we don't, we're not ignoring you.
Yeah, we'll get
Just give
back
us
with
time.
you within 24 hours. Definitely. All
Okay.
right. We love and miss you.
Bye.